Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live and on-time broadcast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the Chief of Cereal and Sigilite of the FLG, and I'm Seth, the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. How are you doing, Kicker Bud?
I am doing great. People, if it sounds like there's a war going on outside of my house / the studio, the Frontline Gaming Network studio, that is because there is a massive Mardi Gras parade, literally maybe 20 feet from where we're recording this, and there's marching bands and loud noises and drunk people running into my walls. So just bear with us this week. On top of that, though, I have to say I got ambushed by a wild Adam Camilleri out in the wild.
What?
Yes, he just showed up on my front doorstep this morning.
Wild Larry.
Yeah, there we go.
Wild
Right
Camilleri.
there. There's Adam. If you are listening to our podcast, you should be watching us every Wednesday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you get to enjoy these fun family photos of myself, Adam Camilleri, the Australian himself, and my wonderful son, who's just giggling and happy to see a guy with a funny voice. So that is us. Yes, and I did get some hobby progress. I got to share the hobby progress. Seth,
right.
you know I've
What'd you
been
do?
working a lot of guard, and you know I'm a big fan of conversions and
What?
kit ashes. Yes, you see those bugs?
Those are
Those
bugs.
are the ash waste nomads, dune bus, dustback riders. I don't know. They're just bugs from Necromunda that I'm going to use as my rough riders. And you notice
You're
that where
just
that
going
paint
for Starship Troopers is what you're doing.
yeah, totally. Well, I'm going with like this weird, like, Starship Troopers have allied in with the bugs, right? So they form some sort of beautiful partnership.
A
Seth,
symbiote, you might say.
yes. Yeah. By the way, thank you, chat. Good to see you guys. That's the other perk, folks, for being part of our live show is the chat. You get to jump in and ask us questions and contribute to the future of 40K. But Seth, do you realize or recognize that weird paint job I've got going on here with my
It
bugs?
looks like some sort of mantis shrimp.
Yeah.
Or coconut crab, I think
It's one of your buddies,
people
right?
would
It's one of your
correct me
buddies.
in that and say it's coconut crab, but at this point, I'm sticking with mantis shrimp.
We'll go
But
with
that's
mantis shrimp,
Dean
coconut.
Pritchard's paint scheme.
Yeah, I kind of took he very much inspired me. I went with some colors that are more, as you know, Seth and Tech Priest Sticky always joke about my wonderfully limited color palette, which tends to be earthen hues, and so yeah, this is a brown and yellow and.
How was it painting those dot patterns?
Oh my god, it was such a shit show. It took forever. It was so tedious, but I really wanted to challenge myself to paint a
Came out
different
well.
technique. And yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I'm pretty proud. So
Those
those
are
are the mounts, but I have the writers that I'm working on this week. But Seth, I know you've been busy, man. I know you've been rolling some dice and
Yep.
hobbying away. What have you been up to, man?
Yep. Hobby wise, I've been painting up some tank bustas.
Oh,
So I actually ran those this past weekend at an RTT, and managed to go 3-0 at that. So it got me some store
whoa,
credit.
wait, 3-0. Hell
Yeah,
yes, Seth.
yeah. Thank you.
Nice.
Now, some astute listeners might be aware that during LVO, in the late day of Sunday, at some point, Tech Priest Sticky and I are sitting behind the curtain, and I don't know what we started doing, but we just started making bets, looking at each other, and then rolling dice to see who would win.
Oh my gosh.
And at one point, he looks at me and goes, "Loser starts an AOS army," and rolls the dice. And he won. So I had to start an AOS army. So I bought some Auric Art Boys. Now I didn't say I was going to play AOS, so I don't know if I'm going to build them as AOS models or maybe use them as conversion fodder for my 40K orcs. But I do now own some AOS models. Therefore, I own an AOS army.
Well
So
done,
I am
Seth.
a man of my word. You can never say I am not Tech Priest.
You still managed to game the system. Well done, Seth. Rich, do you have any sorry, Tech Priest Sticky, I apologize. Tech Priest Dicky, do you have any thoughts on Seth's move here?
Thoughts on Seth's move?
Yeah.
I just blew right past it in the PowerPoint to go. I wanted to show my stuff, but yeah, yeah, no. I think they have to be built and painted in order to call it an army, right?
Okay, but are you cool with him using these for 40K? Because I think that's a genius way to make both,
I
both
mean,
parties
he
happier.
definitely went the lowest budget of AOS that he could go, but I mean, whatever, no big deal.
All right.
I just noticed that
Chat, I want you to remember this moment for later this year when I start doing a bunch of stupid Auric 40K orc conversions.
Yeah,
with like 3 kits combined that is like stupidly overpriced for what the model ends up being.
Yeah.
No,
And
but
then
those hard boys or whatever, the armored black orcs as they used to be called, that's what I've always thought of them as. Those could make knobs, right? I don't know about the scale, but they definitely got the armor. And
I got to build like 1 or 2 just to see like where they do fit scale wise.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh,
Well,
I've
looks
also
like
noticed my
Tech
puppet
Priest
emote.
Dickie's had some hobby progress this week. What's going on here?
Okay, I finished building Angron. I was talking to people in
Angry
chat.
Ronald.
Angry Ron, yeah. I was chatting with people. I'm actually too scared to start painting him. I'm like sitting there looking at him. He's so beautiful. He's everything I ever wanted. So I was like, oh
Oh,
man, when do I start? So I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet and
just go for it.
prime him and get going. Yeah, I think it's
Okay, are you going to go with a classic color scheme here, or are you going to do something novel and exciting?
I
Maybe a flesh tone.
Ooh,
Mangron, as all
Mandron.
the kids are calling it. I don't know. I really want to do something different, but the red keeps pulling me back.
What
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
what about a green scheme?
No, maybe
Jeez.
that's a you thing, not a me thing.
But
Uh,
Seth, that could be a
Tuska the
really
demon
sweet
killer.
Gaz.
yeah.
Gaz.
Also,
I really should start looking for some secondhand gas models to
you should.
salvage parts for Tuska.
Also, I got my kind of my proxy army. When I start playing an army, I like to have an army ready to go out of the box,
Yeah, yeah.
and I have a proxy army that we'll be talking about later this episode. So yeah, on the top left, very
Yeah.
Sweet,
excited.
sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
We'll be talking
Now,
later.
chat wants to know:
Mm.
do you plan to paint the rims on your bases?
No.
Ooh.
Apparently, it's the new thing that we don't paint rims. I heard
Wait,
it
what?
from a show. Yeah. It's
Wait,
just
so you paint them black, or
yeah,
you
yeah.
leave
If it's messy, just don't worry about it. No
Yeah,
big
whatever
deal.
overpaint,
Yeah,
just
whatever.
you go to the John Quinnell School of
Yeah.
Painting and you
Oh,
just
really?
leave the overpaint on your base.
Some people would call that the lazy school of painting,
That's
but
lazy,
yeah.
man.
Ooh, John has a suggestion:
Oh,
albino Grom.
albino. That's
albino brown.
actually not a bad idea. Actually, I think a really nice white, like pale skin would be
That could
super
look
cool.
sweet.
Well, that would go good if you because you're doing your army in heresy
White and
colors.
white and blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the white would really make like some blood or gore really pop,
Yeah,
if
so
you were to go
pop.
that route.
Yeah.
So yeah. Guys, Tech Priest Dickie will be hopping back in later the show with some really fun
That's code
stuff.
for get out of here.
We'll be talking about his like brand new War Leaders and his thoughts, because Seth and I are totally unqualified to discuss them. But yeah, keep your questions ready for when he comes back to talk all about World Eaters. Seth, should we jump into some products real fast?
Yeah, what's
Let's do it.
happened? Is there
So
new
this
stuff?
week, guys, Soul Shackle, the new Kill Team kit, is out this weekend. The pre-orders were last weekend and basically sold out super fast. It's because this is a super cool kit. I mean, this is, I've gotten a few of these GW Kill Team sets. I guess since Into the Dark, and I got to say this is by far the coolest one.
I mean, it is named Soul Shackle.
Soul Shackle, right? That just sounds badass.
That's a pretty good name.
This is the one with the Arbites, Space Cops, and the new Dark Eldar.
Space
Space Cops, right?
What you gonna do?
Our friends at GW sent us a box, and I was tearing apart the box and looking at all the fun stuff in there. And
They're
there are
just literally tearing the box apart.
just tearing up. Yeah. Well, I'm basically a child. I still tear apart like my wrapping paper from Christmas gifts. Like
Do you tear apart your boxes of cereal?
I do not, because I actually really value the box art, because I'm a collector of such fine things, and we don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now. But I do not do that to cereal boxes. But guys, this Kill Team box, it has not one but two accessory sprues. So most of these Into the Dark, boarding action style sets have had one sprue that was the accessories. This one has two, which allows you to build up to 4 of those breachable wall sections. Those are the new wall sections that have, I guess, are in the new mission set that are basically, you can blow them up and create accesses to other corridors and stuff. Really cool concept, and I'm excited that that they've got a physical way to represent these walls being blown up in the game. So yay for
cool.
that. The car skin. They also, those are the shock troops for Guard. They're out this weekend as well, but they also sold out very, very quickly. These are probably the most popular Guard unit, so it makes sense.
They are a very, very strong unit right now in Guard.
Yeah. Seth, have you gone up against them yet?
I have not.
You have not,
but I do know what they do.
Yeah.
And all I have to say to the internet is, just remember, wait for FAQs before you heavily invest in armies and models.
Yeah. Well,
this is a guy that bought 3 repulsor executioners for Iron Hands when they came out. And then they were like, hey, by the way, the Iron Stone is an aura. It just goes on one dude. And I was like, well, I still have 3 of these things. So
it was old 8th edition Iron Hands, right? Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm telling you from my experience, learn from what I have done. Don't be a Seth.
Well, these special Karasukan armored, shock troop guys. Well, Probably too late for many people because they are totally sold out. They are very hard to find. You'll get to pick them up this Wednesday, this Saturday
Well,
if you
that's
if you
why I can
pre-order.
say, like, don't buy them because now that's not like I'm, hurting company sales
Yeah,
because they're
right.
still out.
Yeah. But also the Navy Brewsters, the Crude, a few of the other kits that were previously only in box sets are now coming out as standalone items, and this includes a bunch of the Warcry stuff too. Like my personal favorite, the Chameleon Skinks that were in Warcry. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
start an Age of Sigmar army or a Warcry army just for those damn skinks because they're so freaking cute.
Yeah.
Um, and yes, guys, the Time of the Guard is in full pre-orders for Rough Riders in this weekend as well.
Is that the
This is
last model that hadn't come
so
out
it's
yet?
Rough Riders and a few other kits. The new Fortification is coming out for pre-order this weekend as well.
Yeah, the
That's
new
the
Aegis defense line.
yeah, Aegis Defense Line. So that is a bit of a pricey kit, but I mean, it is massive. It's a bunch of sections. They have the upgrades
So
through too as well, so you can
what's
upgrade
not
your
out for
infantry.
guard then yet?
So that will be it. So with this
Okay.
weekend's pre-orders, you'll have all the I guess the new
All the
guard,
new stuff.
all the new stuff. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. So I was like, I
Including
thought that was all of it, but then you were like, no, and I was like, there's more.
Okay, sorry.
Why
Yes,
is there
that
more?
is all of it. There's the new HQ, the Katie and Castellan. There's a Commissar, so you'll be able to get all the stuff that has been previewed. And then for those of you that are literate, the the Siege of Terra book is coming out as well. This is the newest Siege of Terra book, which is by far, and I mean maybe I'm just a little biased because I really enjoyed it, but this has got to be by far the best Black Library series. The Siege of Terra. Seth, I'm sure you're caught up, right? No? Oh my god, get out of here. Get Tech
Does
Priest
it
Sticky.
does it
Are
have
you caught
orcs
up?
in it, sir?
Oh my god, get out of
Are
here. What
there
the
are
hell?
there
Who are
or
you guys?
are there orcs in it, sir?
There are no orcs in the Siege of Terra series at all. I am so sorry. I am so
Now,
but there's like a robotic monkey that kicks ass. Like, come on. Can we it's like one of the more recent books. Really, really good stuff. Chat, have you read Siege of Terra? Do you like it? Are you excited for the new one? Because I sure as hell am. So that's the yeah, right? I mean,
yes, John Quinnell is very excited. You and
hell yes.
John can form your own lore-based podcast.
Yeah, let's do it, John. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I don't know.
Kelsey's response: lucky people who can read.
Lucky people.
We know you can read, Kelsey.
Yeah, and it usually just come back an audiobook a few weeks later.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a book for Seth. What's the book for Seth?
Bad Moon Rising.
Bad Moon Rise. Isn't that like a Credence Clear?
Bad Moon Rising. Sorry, I
Isn't that a
couldn't read the
Credence
image
Clear
on my
song?
screen.
Right, right. That's a
Well, yeah, that is Creedence
yeah,
Clearwater
yeah.
song, but it is, the Gloomspike
Oh.
Gets.
So books for everyone. Woohoo, guys! Seriously, the Rough Riders, the Aegis Defense Line, and the Siege of Terra books. Those are my hot picks for this weekend. Seth, did you have anything you want to talk about? Any crazy rules, janky things that you've seen being played on TTS, or maybe
Well,
you're
I
an
don't have,
RTT? What did
I,
you won your RTT because you won all three
I
games, right?
did.
So
I
what jank
did.
did you pull on people?
I pulled a very specific form of jank.
All right,
It came in two categories. The
all right. Let's
first
hear it.
was bring 102 obsec bodies.
Oh, what the fuck? Jeez, dude.
And then the second part was, what if I made every reserve charge that I attempted?
Oh yeah, you have
So
really
just
lucky
if
dice.
you just roll nines,
Yeah, that's all you need.
no, but I my list was 140 infantry, 3 characters, and 3 vehicles.
What can
And
you give us? Like, what infantry? We beast snagger
so
boys?
it was 20 units or 20 commandos,
Okay.
10 mega knobs, 10 tank busters, and 2 units of 5, 30 beast snaggle boys, 40 Gretchen, 30 storm boys, a mega armor
Jesus.
war boss, a truck claw boss, a weird boy, and 3 trucks.
Dang.
And it was just I I played 2 Custodes players, and I was like, no, these objectives are mine. These objectives go
Get
away.
out of it.
Get out of here. This belongs to me.
Well done.
So yeah, it very much played the primary very well. So it definitely is a play style. I still have more to learn with that army, and more to do with it. But yeah, my jank of the week is, so just what if, like, you're like, I'm Custodes, I have 20 models. I'm like, I'm Orcs, I have 102 obsec models. And then, another 40 on top of that.
Oh my god, I love it, dude. That is beautiful, beautiful. Which makes me rethink my list because I've been playing with my guard and I don't have enough obsec.
Dorian, I said there's 40 grots in there.
40
40.
grots.
You said no grots? I said 40 grots, sir.
40 grots. 40 grots. Seth, out of curiosity, just because we're talking briefly about your list, MVP of your orc list. MVP, go for it.
I don't know if I had a singular MVP. I do like the truck boss, but the mega boss just frequently is just like because he's got the -1 to wound warlord trait, half damage, 4 up invuln relic.
Yeah.
He's like T7, 7 wounds, 2 up, 4 up. And he's obsec because he's Death Skulls. I just go and like, I'm like, hey, Trajan, like there was a moment where one of my custodian players, there's a kata for custodians where you can be an extra attack, but -1 damage. And so he took that and it made Trajan become 1 damage with
Nice.
his pokey stick.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
my beast boss was just like, cool story, bro. I'm gonna sit here.
I'll just deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
So,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like him.
got me a little jealous about your works, but I've been having a lot of fun with Guard. I mean, I think that there's so much more to discover with this Guard Codex. There's so many options. I've been really
There's so many different tanks that you can shoot at
no,
people.
no, seriously, because I've been running a tank heavy list. Like I have Vanquishers, and you know, like they do their job. Obviously, you have to have tanks on the field, but like they're great at taking out like those annoying ass characters that have a really good invulnerable save or some sort of nonsense like that.
My solution for everything right now seems to be just choppas. What if I
Just
just
Choppas,
hit it
just
with
all the
choppas?
Choppas, all the
Yeah,
Choppas. Well, all right.
that's it. Now, when we get into our world eater segment, I may have to adjust my
Yeah,
game plans because they choppa harder.
yeah, they out Choppa your Choppa. Yeah.
Makes me
Uh,
sad,
w-
sad
well,
horse.
Seth, you've got a big tournament coming up. We're going to talk about it right now.
Mhm.
This tournament is happening next week. Cherokee with over 270 players for 40K and sold out. We just can't fit any more
So
people at this point.
270 victims for me.
Just for Seth, yes, and then we've got over 80 for Age of Sigmar. Of course, we've got Legion and MCP there as well. We're gonna have a nice info sheet, I guess, in blog format, getting released probably Friday. It'll have
Mhm.
all the information in consolidated format. It'll tell you, how to find us because the resort is massive, like where to find us and
Yeah,
what
it
time
is.
the bars are open and
It's
all that stuff.
very long.
Yeah, it's super long. It's falling, so it's up against the mountains and by the creek, so it's kind of just straddling that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a very
Important.
like it's tall, but it's also lengthwise long.
Yeah, yeah, it is very
That's ridiculous.
it is you wanna make sure you go to the right entrance or else you'll be walking a very long ass time, so don't do
Very
that.
true.
Yeah, so, let's show this photo right here. I just wanna remind people, RSVP for your family dinners. We're gonna be doing family dinner in the hall. This resort is super popular. Adam Camilleri, like I was just talking, their wonderful Australian friend, host of the Thursday show, as well as many others. He's going up to play, and he was looking at the resort, and he's like, "Man, this resort, like the place seems packed on the weekends." I'm like, "Yeah, it's going to be totally packed. There's no hotel rooms left at the resort unless you pay a crazy price."
Yeah,
So it's a very popular place. That means the restaurants get full. And yes, you can
they do.
try to cram your 10-man team into a restaurant and hope that you can get a reservation,
We all
or you
know
can
how
join
that
us.
goes.
Yeah, don't do that. Just join us for family dinner in the hall. We'll have barbecue on Friday, tacos on Saturday.
Yeah. You
Just
you can get dinner, hang out in the hall. Is the bar still gonna be open in the
the
hall?
bars, yeah. So we'll have the bars open till 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. The food will be there, so
Yeah,
you can roll dice, get food. It'll be made by the same chefs that are cooking the food in the rest of the resort's restaurants, but it's made freshly for us. It's gonna be more affordable.
there
The
you go.
barbecue is legit. We're gonna have chicken. I want to say pork and brisket barbecue
Mm,
sandwiches, and then tacos. We got fish, chicken, and I want to say a beef
ooh,
tacos. And then there's like nachos and some other things as well. So good stuff all around.
sounds
And of
good.
course, the beloved moonshine. We got 2 special moonshine drinks that we'll be announcing in a little blog post as well. So lots of
So,
information
Dickie,
coming
you
along.
sure you don't want us to kidnap you and bring you down?
Yeah, you should be joining us, man. Oh, come on, Tech Free Stick. It'd be great.
Just a
Well,
little
so just
kidnapping. A little
just
international incident. It's a big deal.
but just guys, please do RSVP. There will be a link to the
Mhm.
RSVP form on the blog post, but it is important so
I
that we can
gotta
kind
I
of get
gotta
a
figure out
rough
what
like
night my wife wants to go out and what night we'll be eating in the hall.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Join us for barbecue.
I will. I gotta find out what she wants.
Oh, dude, Big Bear 3D.
Mhm.
They are doing our trophies. We have a beautiful
Again,
photo of one of them
yeah.
right here. Yes. Did you see those giant trophies we had at LVO? The life
Yeah.
size
Yeah,
replicas.
like the picture we got right here of
If
an
you win
excited
best
kicker.
general. Yeah, look at that. That's kicker at LVO holding a massive sword, far bigger than me. If you are best general for Age of Sigmar or best general for 40K at Cherokee, you're going to be getting these life-size replica weapons so you can scare your neighbors. It's awesome. And I just found out too, the Cherokee tribe that if you were there last year,
Yep.
you saw them. They're coming back and they're going to be doing a war dance to bless our event on Saturday
That
at
was
the
that was
beginning.
really
So
cool last
they'll
time.
be there. Yeah, right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realize that we're on the Cherokee Reservation, and they're, like, legitimately stoked that we're bringing our event there, bringing our attendance there, 'cause the reservation really depends on, like, tourism crowds to come
Yeah.
there. So they're so happy to have us, and they wanted to do a way to, I guess, bless our event. I was like, "Yes, please. That is awesome." So they'll be doing their thing
Yeah.
Saturday morning
Okay.
right before round 1 kicks off.
All right. I'm gonna have to come
And
bust my works.
can we get a drum roll? Can we get a drum roll real fast? Like, I don't know, can you do a drum roll? Can we
I
do
don't.
this? Yeah, we
I don't know if that's coming up on the mic.
We're announcing, folks. There we go. Guys, there we go. Let's stop. The Faction Specialist Awards.
No.
Boo Yaka Laka. I don't know. Boom Shakalaka. Can we? I don't know.
Boo! No. Boo Yaka Laka is now the official kicker
Boo
saying.
Yaka Laka.
Chat,
I'm Hungarian. I'm
I'm gonna
German.
need you to that moment for me. I'm gonna need links to that ASAP.
Boo, boom, yaka laka, boom, shakalaka. You know what? Whatever the hell, it's cool. It's all good. We've got these sweet faction specialist pins that you will be getting basically for best in faction at all Frontline gaming events for all game systems. So if you're playing Kill Team or Legion or 40K or Age of Sigmar, if
Cool.
you are dedicated and you're playing a faction and you come in best in faction at one of these tournaments, you're going to get one of these sweet die cast pins we had made up. They were way too expensive, but they look so sweet. And you get to keep them on your jersey or on your army bag for the year. And then you come to LVO, and you'll get access to a special raffle just for faction specialists from the year 2023. So Seth, I'm expecting you to come back home with one for your orcs. Because no pressure, man. No pressure.
No pressure.
Is there anybody at Cherokee that you're kind of worried that might
I haven't
outwork
looked through
you?
the list, but you know what? Sorry, tech praise in the background. Boom Yaka Laka.
Boom, yaka. It's okay.
All right. I haven't looked at the list, but I mean, like, in all seriousness, like, Anthony Vanilla had a good point of like you only care about the guy in front of you,
Yeah.
because you never know who they are and what they know and how good they can be. Like, I mean, we talked about it, from LVO, like with the Alex Harris and Vic VJ game. Like, neither one of them knew who the other guy was, but both of them had the opportunity to take the other guy out.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try not to get too much into that like mindset. Plus, we were actually talking about it the other day with some friends that sometimes the scariest opponent is the guy that doesn't know that he's in a bad matchup, and he just like puts his army on the line and hot dices it, and you're like, son of a, that should have never worked. So you never know, man. You never
Walks
know
into
what could happen.
victory.
Yeah.
Well, Seth, I'm rooting for you. I am hoping that you can get a sweet Frontline Gaming 2023 faction specials pin.
If not, I'll just go like tackle the other orc player and steal it from him.
Like that, like what a real orc would do. Like,
Exactly.
right? Like exactly.
The biggest and the best.
Exactly. And let's talk about the Rocky Mountain.
Uh-oh. I think we've lost. Yeah, Mardi Gras kicker.
Kicker Mardi Gras himself. I think
Well,
he would talk about the Rocky Mountain Open, Seth.
He would. The Rocky Mountain is officially sold out.
Oh.
But the titans of the community, the Denver Fight Club, are raffling off to help a charity. They're working on some food trucks.
Yeah.
So everything's on track there. BAO is still going steady. Their tickets are up for sale now.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in on that, they're trying to add Song of Ice and Fire. I hear there's like a certain illustrious member of the community that's really into that game. Do you know who that is, Tech Priest?
No idea who.
That's
Is it
Duncan.
Okay.
Duncan, yeah. Like we were obviously planning a bunch of stuff for LVO.
Yeah.
And we had Duncan, and there was a very specific stipulation that we could only film with Duncan on Friday because Saturday he was playing in the Song of Ice and Fire event.
That's super awesome.
So he's super into it. I'm just going to keep going from kicker notes here.
Yeah.
ACO tickets will be going live in a few days. They will have a raffle. Raffle for what? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to go by the notes here. For each ticket or merch item you order within the first 2 weeks of this being live, you're entered to win a free stay at the Harrah's plus dinner. Oh, so the raffle will be you if you buy your tickets or your merch within the first 2 weeks, you could potentially win that free stay at Harrah's.
Yeah.
And I think I just saw a little green box pop up that might indicate that the kicker has returned.
Yeah. Go.
He-
Oh, I'll find a kicker.
We've
1 second.
we've sort of covered RMO and BAO and ACO kicker. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
I
hear
have
you,
to
and
add
I
you
think
in
Jack
kicker.
can.
1 second.
Yeah.
No, you're not in kicker. You're not in. It just
No,
Seth
it's just
entertained them for a second.
only me. Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay. Chat, you're stuck with just me. While Tech Priest definitely.
There he
There we
is.
go.
He's
I
in.
see
He's in.
kicker. I see
Can you
kicker.
hear me,
Is
people?
Yeah.
Kicker's audio? Tech Priest says kicker can speak to the world now.
Okay, hey guys, I'm so sorry that did that. You know that giant parade taking place literally 5 feet from where I'm standing right now? Yeah, apparently, I guess they overblew our circuits. People probably plugged into our external outlets. I don't know. Our whole house power just got lost, but we're good now. Everything's fine. Everything's good. Life is good. I missed you. Love you all. All right, great. Where we at, Seth?
Tell us about the Rocky Mountain Open raffle.
Oh yeah, the Rocky Mountain Open raffle is pretty sweet. So for $5, I believe, you get entry to win a Warhound Titan that's
Oh, that's
currently
what this
being
picture
built
was.
right now. Yeah, we have
Now
a
we
photo.
figured it out. We've pieced it together, Tech Priest.
Yeah.
Look at that. You guys are geniuses.
By
You guys don't know
by
that.
just listening to kicker. That's how we
Oh,
pieced it
Just
together.
But yes, this is a special thing that the Denver Fight Club. This is a group that's local to the Denver region. As if you couldn't tell by their name, they are working together to raffle off this beautiful Warhound Titan that's being built by the crew, being painted by a local dude, and will be all
Looking good.
proceeds will be going to a charity that focuses on helping veterans out. So yes, guys,
Awesome.
not only is the
Very
Rocky
cool.
Mountain Open totally sold out, but we're doing fun stuff like having that raffle, and we're gonna have food trucks both Saturday and Sunday for lunch. We have a whole
Nice.
range of food trucks.
This is, correct me if I'm wrong, Rocky Mountain Open. This is at a venue that is just the event. It's not a hotel.
Yeah. So it's basically like SoCal. If you guys are familiar with SoCal, it's a giant
Gotcha. So
fairgrounds
then
right
food
near
trucks
the
are a very good idea.
food exactly right. And so there is no hotel attached. It's just a fairgrounds. We've taken over every square inch of the venue space. That's why the event is sold out. So don't bug me. We can't add more tables because literally we just don't have the space.
Kicker, have you considered bunk bed tables?
Oh, that's a genius idea. We should do that because we have the ceiling height. Like we could do this. We have the
Vertical
the height.
height gaming.
There we go. Right. But yeah, the
Now,
Rocky Mountain
the
Open.
problem you might run into, everyone listen to me, if we decide at a future event to institute a vertical gaming standard, everyone's going to have some pretty decent shorts and underwear. You don't want to look up and get an eyeful.
I think that's a very fair point to make sure we have in the player packet there. Guys, really fast, if you are in chat, I need your help. Please respond to us right now. We have, only so many food trucks we can fit in our parking lot. I think we're limited to 5. What kind of food trucks do you guys like? Just generic burgers, or should we be getting somebody like a grilled cheese truck? Like there's a grilled cheese truck. There's a guy that does brats. There's a pho place. Even if you're not coming to Rocky Mountain Open, give us your feedback so I can get an idea of like what we should do. Should I get a vegan truck? There's like a vegan truck out in Colorado that's willing to come. And then there's also an ice cream truck. Do you really want ice cream at lunch in the middle of a 40K tournament? I don't know. What do you think, Seth? Ice cream? Is that something?
So Asian fusion that
Asian
came
fusion?
up.
All right, yeah.
Chat's still stuck on kilts and looking up and
Yeah.
problems.
No kilts
gyros
allowed.
and sausage, Korean barbecue, burritos,
Yes, Korean barbecue. I like that. I like that a lot. There was so there's like literally 20 trucks.
barbecue,
Oh,
fish and
barbecue's always good.
chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah,
No fish and chips.
KR Quintero
Oh,
says that. I think he's out in that area.
yeah, nice. So I've got like a roster of about 20
Lobster
different-
roll truck.
Jeez.
Now I like lobster rolls, but there's a lot of like mayo in that, and that might be a little heavy for lunch. I'm just gonna veto the Rocky Mountain oysters right now.
Yeah, right.
No.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. Well, I
Burgers.
appreciate it. We'll I'll be reading through the chat later on to try and get whatever you guys think. Try and get like some sort of a focus group. I do think Korean barbecue is fun. I think though that there's no reason to have a dessert truck. Like we should just focus.
Ooh, okay, now I'm gonna suggest something here.
Shoot, yeah.
So I was at an event probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and they had some food trucks for lunch, and there was a guy that did a baked potato truck.
Yes.
That was
No,
good.
I love it. I love it. There's
Because
a
he
place-
did like crazy big. There was
yeah.
like hey, I want some mine's got some butter and some sour cream and a little bit,
screw that.
But then he was like, here's one that's just chicken Alfredo on a baked
perfect.
potato.
Yeah.
And,
This is a pizza and a potato. Eat
Yeah,
it. Enjoy it.
or here's taco and a potato. So
there's a place here
barbecue
in
and
New
a
Orleans
potato.
that
Yeah,
does
it's real
that,
good.
and it's like awesome. That's all they do is some sort of random international cuisine in a potato, and it is
I'm
glorious.
just saying it's filling.
Yeah.
And you can have a wide variety.
Cool.
and you can get like not super greasy.
Okay, but
I'm pro baked potato truck is what I'm saying.
okay, do you guys think a grilled cheese truck though is just kind of boring? Like, because I
Grilled
that's what.
cheese on a baked potato?
Sure, yes, why not? All right. Chat, tell us, should we get because that one's like been
Chat
highly
said
recommended.
yo waffles, and then
Yo,
General Tso's chicken in a baked potato.
yes, General. I mean, now we're talking. All right, and on to I guess something that more serious business. Guys,
Now I
BAO
just want to go
is
to a
so.
Chinese restaurant tomorrow and get a baked potato and
Oh
just
my God, jeez. BAO's tickets have been live. The event is in May over Memorial Day weekend. You can still buy your tickets. We still, those are still trickling through. But I'm trying to add Song of Ice and Fire. If you
Mhm.
are in the area and like to play Song of Ice and Fire, reach out to me on Facebook or hit me up at events@frontlinegaming.org. I'd like to talk to you about adding Song of Ice and Fire to the BAO. Now, guys, ACO, woohoo! This is the big
Mhm.
one. This is like our LVO equivalent on the East Coast. This one is doubling in size for 2023. We literally have
That's
twice as much
ridiculous.
square footage. Tickets go live in a few days, and yeah, there's the beautiful artwork. Isn't that gorgeous? It's a Sister of Battle, cool sword, right? There's Seth. Do you want to
Mhm.
describe
Yep.
our artwork? It's our
It is a very angry looking sister of battle with a very large flaming sword. Like
yeah,
I am actually mildly concerned about the sister's well being
yeah.
at how much flame is coming off that sword.
Oh,
We
we got a
have
super chat. Seth, take it
We
away.
do. Hey guys, this is Miguel. He says, "Hey guys, thanks for getting back to me about the RMO. You guys are awesome."
Oh, awesome.
I'm not sure what we got back to you about, but you're welcome, Miguel.
Thank you. I've been answering nonstop emails about RMO since it's a new event. A lot of
Oh
people are
yeah.
curious and asking about it. And Miguel, hopefully I got one of your emails
Yeah.
early today, or Facebook
Miguel, what kind
messages,
of food
or
truck do you
carrier
want?
pigeons. But yeah, super stoked to have you and everyone else that's joining us at
Yeah.
the Colorado event. Miguel, if you have any questions you want to ask us, feel free because
Yeah.
you definitely are worth the
And
effort.
and
Thanks.
I'm I mean I'm gonna ask you questions now.
All right,
I
do
want to
it.
know what kind of food truck you want there, Miguel,
Ooh, good
and I
point.
want to know what you would put on a baked potato of
Miguel,
anything in the whole wide
please
world.
answer us in chat so that Seth can record this
I
for the
think that's gonna
record.
become my new. You're interviewing people and you're asking about cereal. I'm asking baked potato topping.
What is your favorite baked potato? Can we I know we should not derail ourselves too much,
Oh, we've
but
done it.
is a baked sweet potato still within your realm? Because I love
Yeah,
sweet
yeah.
potatoes.
I like a good baked sweet potato.
Okay, one of my favorite things is a baked sweet potato with, like, roasted, like, caramelized roasted broccoli on top and, like, a yeah, and I know and some sour
I'm
cream.
out. Bye.
No, I don't know why it's, like, the sweet
Roasted
broccoli, and then you throw
with
some
sour
bacon
cream on a
bits.
sweet potato?
I don't know why. It's like your standard baked potato, but with the sweet potato, you get that sweet. I don't know. I swear it works. I swear. Okay, or you stuff it with barbecue. A sweet potato stuffed with barbecue and some
That's pretty
coleslaw on
good.
top
That's
is
pretty good. That's
perfect.
pretty good.
Like that's my go to for
Oh,
a. Okay,
kicker.
yeah.
Will the RMO be a GW qualifier?
So this is a very good question and one that I would love to avoid. Was that a super chat?
No, it's not a super chat. It was just a question.
Because I truly love Signals from the Frontline. I love our chat. Seth and Tech Stick, you guys are very important to me. I will be honest and direct with you guys. Every single one of the Frontline Gaming events, is a GW qualifier. You get your ticket to go to the event in November.
Mhm.
But and I say this with tremendous sorrow, but the Rocky Mountain Open is sadly not going to be one for one reason and one reason only. It is because it's a first year event.
Ah,
To
gotcha.
be a qualifier and have your events, earn you a ticket to the
That's
invite,
fair.
you
That's a
have to have had
fair
at least another year.
stipulation from GW, I think.
Yeah, and it's a GW policy, and I totally respect it, and
Yep.
I don't blame because all of a sudden they're going to get bombarded with people saying, "Oh, I have this big event. We're going to have 500 people," but they have no track record.
Yeah. No,
Luckily, the Rocky Mountain
makes
Open,
sense.
yeah,
Um,
it's Rocky Mountain
Fair
Open for
enough.
next year will
Fair enough.
definitely be it. I mean, it's sold out.
Yep.
2 months before the event. It's we're already planning. We're going to be locking in a multi-year contract with the venue that we're at. So no doubt about it for next year that it will be a
Understood.
qualifier. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
cool.
GW, we understand.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
do actually have a question now from Miguel. I want to know how to beat those orcs with custodes. No, you don't. You shake when you walk to the table and you just walk away, bud. That's how you beat them. And
Um,
then he said he likes burgers with neat toppings.
oh, okay, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I can respect that. Yeah, no, and that way you get to enjoy the burger itself, and it's not all about just the toppings. But okay,
I'm always down for a good burger.
You down for a good burger? We're talking about ACO. This is really important, actually. If you get your Atlantic City Open ticket within the 2 weeks of the event going live, so the ticket should be going live ideally this Friday. You've got 2 weeks. Any ticket that you buy or individual item of merchandise or whatever, everything gets you an entry into a sweet raffle. That raffle is a free weekend stay. So the weekend of the event, you get to stay for free at the casino, and you get dinner. Frontline Gaming, like we just wanted to throw in something there to kind of make it exciting. So everyone. So if you buy like tickets for your entire team, and you just say, "Hey guys, don't worry, I'll buy you a ticket." That you buy 10 tickets for your 10 teammates. Guess what? You get 10 entries into this raffle, and you could be winning a free stay at the ACO.
I feel like some guys now for their team are be like, "I'll just buy all the tickets, guys. Don't worry."
No problem.
And then they'll be like, "Hey, why do you get your room to yourself? Don't worry about why I get a room to myself."
Yeah. So that is one of our little perks if you get your ticket early for the Atlantic City Open. Okay, Seth, take it away. What's happening at the FLGN?
Stuff.
Come on,
It was another good week on good old Grim. The tech priest filled in there, and his set caught on fire. It was very scary for a minute, but it was a good time. They pulled that one out of the fire, you might say, and it's still a good show. So keep checking them out. But speaking of tech priests, it's finally time to unleash them, folks. The World Eater tech priest has been set free to tell us about World Eaters. Are you ready, Tech Priest Dicky? World Eater Dicky?
I'm so ready. I'm really excited.
And for those of you that are unaware, that Tech Priest Dicky, despite his name being Tech Priest, could care less about playing AdMech. He is a diehard World Eaters fan. He has always been. He's not, not just jumping on board right now.
He's never dabbled on anything else.
This is his thing. So he is as much of an expert as we can have for our show.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there's never been a World Eater Codex before, so I mean, to me, that makes him just as knowledgeable as anyone else.
There we go, from the beginning.
Yep.
Okay, take it away, World Eater Tech Priest.
Oh, we have a super chat. Oh no, that's Kelsey talking about super chat. Never mind. Relax,
Kelsey.
Relax.
Kelsey's just faking us out with super chat.
Me out.
Now, Tech Priest.
Yeah.
You have you had any games with the new codex?
I've had a few. Yeah, I've had. I went to Stud and Snotling, and I actually was a sub for the last day of that, and was able to bring my my World Eaters and play people. It was their first go at World Eaters, so I was very excited to talk to them the whole 3 hours that we were there playing about it. So yeah, it was really good.
All right.
Okay, so I decided that there's so many reviews. I know I've watched a ton of World Eater reviews.
Watched them all, actually.
I think all twice. But instead of just talking about a review here, I wanted to. Oh, we have a super chat now.
It's Kelsey saying, "I mean, I can super chat."
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Kelsey.
You didn't have to do that.
Thank you. Jeez. Totally unnecessary, Kelsey. But thank you so much, my friend.
Okay, so I wanted to go through some lists that I've been given, I've been playing, and a couple fun little concoctions. And I wanted to go through the list and
concoctions.
My thought process, and as Kicker likes to say, the jank in the list.
The jank.
So let's bring the first one up.
Ooh, we got slides. Look at this. This is why you guys tune in live.
Sample list.
Look at this.
Sample
Beautiful
list. Seth, you're in my way, so you gotta have to move out the other way. Okay, there we go. Everyone. Okay, good.
I'm good. I'm over here.
Okay, so Lord Avocado.
Don't poke the World Eater. That's never a good idea.
What are you tickling him? Okay, Lord Avocado is probably the most competitive choice when it comes to Chaos Lords.
And he gives the pregame move.
He gives 2 buffs. One is a +2-inch aura to core. Of move, so a bound would be able to, or normally a bound would be able to move 11 inches versus the 9 that they move, very fast. But he also comes with a really snazzy pre-game move, and some important notes for all you non-World Eater players out there. The pre-game move it has to be outside of 9 inches of other models. You can just ball her out. And it's a normal move, so you can move 11 inches on your pregame move. Okay.
Real talk, Tech Priest.
Yeah. Was that a mistake?
Do you think that's gonna survive the first round of FAQs? Do you think it's intentional that you don't have the 9-inch limit, or do you think it is intended?
I think it's intended, actually.
But you can get within 9 inches of the enemy
on pregame move. The reason I think it's intentioned or intentional is because this army has really only one damage phase. There's no psychic. There's very little shooting
You
of
can
note.
totally take pistols on those models.
Yeah, the pistols do nothing, and it's a waste of your clock if you're gonna do it. But I guess if you're in combat with orcs, you do it. But listen, I do think it was done on purpose. I don't
All
think
right,
it's
all
going
right.
away. While very strong, I don't know, not the be all and end all, and not
This is my
everyone's going to take.
suspect face.
Yeah, good. That's a good suspect base. Okay, so Lord Avocado, we talked about him. What we didn't talk about him, he rides a juggernaut that flies on rainbows and murder. Wake up, kicker. This is important stuff.
Sorry, no,
Rainbows
no,
and
I
murder.
was. I'm like,
Yeah.
world eaters. This doesn't sound like hard.
No,
Sorry.
but believe me, it's gonna hurt. His
Okay.
axe goes through invulnerable saves like butter, so you don't get one, and it's a -3/2 damage. So he is a killy character. Some important things to note is you're not gonna have access to a ton of rerolls in World Eaters. It's not really their thing. Their thing is getting there.
Dicky.
Yeah, hit me.
We have an explanation on how the Lord Avocado moves like he does from Joel Atkins.
Go, hit me.
Are you familiar with the Bifrost from
Yes,
Thor?
of course.
It's the Blood Frost.
The Blood Frost.
Mm.
Perfect. Thank you, Joel. That's a
Wait,
great way.
because he doesn't have wings or a jetpack
No.
or anything.
He's
I
just
was always
running on a river of blood.
I was
Wait,
always thought that he flies on anger and hate. You just like fly like it's so angry that it just flies. I don't know.
I have a hard time visualizing this, but
Yeah,
Joel
well,
Atkins's explanation really helped.
maybe
there,
I'll
so thank you.
model wings on my juggernaut for you, kicker.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Just for kicker.
Yeah,
Just
just
for
for
me.
kicker. Okay, so we've talked about Lord Avocado. There's no other characters, guys, in this first list, and I wanted to also call it. This is Anthony Violence Vanillas, and this is named by Seth. 8 Ways to Violence. What a great name!
Wow.
If you want to,
sitting around earlier,
if you want to read more about what Anthony's thought on the Codex, he did an article on Goonhammer. Unbelievable, great article, great read.
Cool.
And did you and Anthony perhaps do another show?
Yeah. So Anthony did the Art of War Down Under with Adam on this as well, and
But didn't you do that too?
we haven't recorded the second half yet, so I don't know if I'm on it or if someone else is on it. I was really trying to get on that. Anyway,
I mean, I
but
think
I'm not like
you were saying it on air now that you will be. So like
maybe I don't know.
And Mr. Camilleri is required to.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
maybe.
like
it doesn't.
Kicker won't let him back in the
I've been
house
on.
tonight.
I've been
No,
on like
Adam, you're not coming back in the house. I'll just lock the door.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
like on 3 different podcasts about World Eaters. I believe me, I've got my World Eater fill. Okay, you keep sidetracked me again. So it's only one character, guys. I really think it's important to note Avocado's all you need, and everything else hits really, really hard in this list.
Avocado's all you need.
It's all you need. We have 5 unit of 5 berserkers with icon and eviscerators. These guys
like
are
it.
amazing. 120
it.
points of 3d6 charge in, tons of attacks. I think the unit puts out like 46 or 45 attacks. Like it's just awesome, and they're
Yeah,
super cheap
yeah.
and they're great. So
Don't
good,
like it.
good at killing orcs. With those berserkers, we have 2 rhinos. Okay, so you
Mhm.
put
Mhm.
4 units in rhinos. 1 unit just hangs out and just chills out in the backfield and gets into a rhino later. 3 spawn. Why are 3 spawn important? This question comes up constantly. They're not monsters. What the heck are they there for? Quite honestly, they're
this is
there
true.
just for blood tithe. You're just gonna try to get them killed as soon as possible, and really
Or
rack
hold
up those.
objectives.
Oh, yeah, if you don't kill me, if you kill me, great. And also when we talk about secondaries, it's another important part. So spawn super cheap. Just get on objectives and die. That's what they do. Actually, funny story. I had one of my spawn kill a Custodes Terminator in the tournament at Stutter Scrub, which is hilarious. You should never do that.
Did you feel bad about that? If you didn't,
I
good.
laughed at the guy.
Yeah,
I was like-
you
and
should feel bad about that.
But he laughed. He thought it was funny too.
I do think that there is another
Yeah.
potential name here. This is also by Joel
Yep.
that has come up in chat. And the name is Avocado Goes with Everything.
It does really go with everything. You're not
That
wrong.
is good.
You're not
That is
wrong.
good.
Okay, so 8-bound. 8-bound are the kit of the year, especially for this codex.
They
They're
are.
basically spawn with weapons, is how I like to
I
think
hear
of
they're
it.
so popular that some four-legged friends are loving them.
Yes, my dog loved eating one of those 8-bound. Um, so I have 3 units of 5, 200 points for 5. I think 5s are great numbers. You don't have to worry about coherency. Like I said, they move 11 inches. They're great units, and man, do they punch above their weight class for sure. Um, then we have 3 units of Exalted 8-bound. Now, I've been hearing
Yep.
a lot of people not loving on the Exalted 8-bound. Do you know why
And
that
what do you have
is?
to say to them?
Why?
I say they're wrong, is what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. I thought you'd say
You're
wrong.
wrong.
Each guy has a chain fist that he doesn't have to roll a -1 for. They're strength 10 out of the box, getting charged or charging,
I don't
2
like it.
damage. And
I
guess
don't
what,
like it.
guys? They hit on 2s right out of the box.
I think they are trash. No one should take them.
They're so good.
And I'm
I,
There
not
we go.
saying that because I'm a T5 army.
yes,
No.
they're so
Okay.
good. They're super strong. And also, a cool thing to note that people are missing is they actually
All
have
right.
an eviscerator that gets to make a little swipe at the end as well, just for a cheeky,
Oh, just for funsies.
just for a
Just a
strength
cheeky little
7 neg 3 2 damage, just a little swipe,
just a cheeky little
just a cheeky
strength
little
7
swipe.
neg 3.
And of course, on both these units, there's different loadouts for the champions, and they can become flat 3 damage on those attacks as well. So,
Well, at least after you charge me, I can run away, right?
well, not with the Exalted 8-bound, because they have a special rule that you can only fall back on a 4+. So, yeah.
And you don't have to pay CP for that?
Yeah,
Like
just
I have to
come right
pay
out of
2
the
C
box.
I'd have to pay 2
135.
CP for that on my Beast Snaggle boys.
Go ahead.
Okay, what about a fight last mechanic? Do you have anything like that?
Not really.
Okay, good.
This list doesn't have a lot of the finesse that like a
Good.
fight last or fight
Good.
first. It does, however, have a fight on death, which
Oh, okay, that's
will
annoying.
do
But
it.
yeah.
It also has a 6-inch heroic
I don't like it.
on
I don't
core
like
For
and
just your one character, or for
no, for core. So
Oh,
core
that
is
makes it
all the
way more.
Zerkers, all the
Yeah.
8-bound, not the Exalted 8-bound though.
Okay, that makes it way spicier.
So I'm gonna convert up my Chaos Orc army, and
Yeah.
if I play a converted Chaos Orc army using the World Eater rules, do I still get faction points for orcs?
No,
Yeah, sure, why not?
no, you
can do
don't.
it.
But I got the general thought of this list is just super aggro, aggressive, in your face. I'm punching you to death. Important thing to note is secondaries. If you die on an objective, it gets bathed in blood. You get victory points for that. When your opponents die on objectives, you get victory points for that. They're bathed in blood. When you basically cast off your blood tithe points, you get points for that. When you kill units or vehicles or characters, you get points for that. This thing is a point scoring, punching, killing son of a gun. Woo!
I hate it.
It's an
I hate
awesome, it's an awesome, cool list. Thank you, Anthony, for making this thing. This thing has been a blast to play. So I can see this list, but I have another list.
We got one more list,
One
folks.
more list.
Better have Angry Ronald in it.
It's got Angron in it.
There we go. Good.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, you need to have him.
So I called this Bash Bros 2.0.
Ooh,
Right?
yeah.
So we can make this either Disciples of the Red Angel or actually you can't make this Disciple of the Red Angels because there's jackals, but I'd take those jackals out and put something else in. I'm sure that'll work. This is just a normal list. We got Angron has to be your warlord. You got Lord Avocado. He's a flying juggernaut. Might as well. We got some jackals for our background Holden kind of guys. We have 8-bound in this list. 8-bound are, again, super great. So we're just going to max them. We have Exalted 8-bound. We got Angry Ron with his Warlord trait. Seth, do you know what the Warlord trait does?
I believe it takes away my obsec.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about all those orcs with obsecs. How do they enjoy this guy?
Well, to give you a little preview, we, as part of the Vanguard Tactics coaching courses that I'm doing, they give us opponents' army lists and ask us to write up what we would take secondary wise against that. And this week's assignment was a list similar to this on abandoned sanctuaries, which means I can't forward deploy and block you. And I just sat there for like a good like 20 minutes just being like, if I wander out onto the objectives, he gets points.
Yeah.
If I don't go onto the objectives,
He
I
still
don't
gets
get
yeah,
points.
he still gets points because he kills you.
And then I'm like, and if I try to steal the objectives, he has the dude that says screw your obsec.
Yeah.
There's not that I have struggled with this. I
It's
am
a
waiting to hear
lose-lose.
back from the coaches on what they think would be
Yeah.
a
They're like, you
reasonable
can't win this
option
one.
here, but
Actually,
I am not seeing a easy path forward here for my
Yeah.
orcs.
We have some people in the chat. We could definitely go instead of Jackal. We could literally take the troop option out of there. We could bulk up our
Yep.
8-bound and turn it into a Disciple of the Red Angel list. You can only run demons, and yes, you're right. 8-bound do have the demon keywords, so you can definitely run them. And Land Raiders for some weird reason.
Hey, don't question it.
Who knows?
do it.
Land Raiders aren't awful. So I've heard a lot of people give Land Raiders poop. They're T9. You're actually shooting in this army, which would be super cool.
It would be
Angron.
cool.
So
Angry Ron.
Angry Ron. He basically has an ability. He gets to choose either reroll ones, either you can't fall back. Period. End of discussion from him. And obviously he turns off OBSEC 6 inches around him. So super cool. And then we got his Bash Bro. This is Bash Bros 2.0. We got
Yep.
Scarbrand.
Oh
No,
god.
wow, yeah, there you go.
Like, what do you think this army needs? More attacks? Well, there he is.
Another guy that you can't fall back from?
Yeah. He's you can't fall back. He's pretty much immune. He's immune to mortal wound output from the psychic phase.
Does Scarbrand have a wound cap per phase?
He doesn't have a wound cap.
Okay.
And also a very important note for all the people who want to know, Angry Ron has the Locust ability, so he can drop Scarbrand in within 6 inches to charge out and have fun.
No,
so
I don't
yeah.
like that actually. No.
Yeah, it's super fun. And 1 unit of Bloodletters for all the shenanigans that you can do with them. I think this is a super cool list. I'll probably run it at some point when I'm not having fun with the Anthony's violence list. Super fun. Like, oh my god, getting Angron and Scarbrand on a table. Whew. Feels good. What do you guys think?
I think I'm gonna go back to playing Votan in town now.
Yeah, Votan are a tough nut to crack with this list. Not being able to fall back though is interesting. Like if you kill a unit and then you consolidate into like a hecaton, maybe Scarbrand or maybe Angron lives. I've been really worried.
I mean, you
about
have a lot of sources of no fallback, which is a problem. Yeah. So I think they certainly have play into some of the shooting armies. I just
I'm just gonna say straight up, my tanks can shoot out of combat. Just saying.
Well, they can unless.
All right, Kicker, you're not helpful.
I mean, obviously, if everything of yours is engaged in combat, then yeah, I'm screwed.
I'm just thinking, like, if I could just
everything
get
in your
Angron
entire
to live
army
just
needs to
for
be fighting.
3 turns, he can carve tanks up. I'm sure pretty good. So yeah, I think it's a cool option. I'm super excited to play this list. I have a Scarbrand. I want to put him on the table. So yeah, no, this is going to be super cool.
We do have some very targeted feedback from Wolf Priest Carl.
Oh yeah, go
Interesting
ahead.
list, but still needs Wolfen to be viable.
It does.
Yeah,
thank you for that, Wolf.
Well, Wolfen are kind of like 8-bound, right? When he gets his, when he gets his
8 Wolfen wish they were 8-bound.
Oh yeah,
you
they
can hurt his feelings. You can hurt Wolf.
They shoot, right? That's the thing they can do.
No, their shooting is not. I mean, no.
Wait,
if you're relying on
Wolfen
shooting, then you're doing it wrong.
Wait, do Wolfen literally have guns? I didn't.
They have guns on their shoulders, don't? But I think you have to buy them, which no one does.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why we've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of buying guns to hopefully make good decisions or bad decisions, I don't know. I'm trying to do a segue here and I'm failing miserably.
Buying guns, good.
Yeah, don't buy guns, folks. I mean, buy guns. I don't know. Just don't buy guns for your Wolfen. There we go.
Yes.
Don't buy guns for your Wolfen.
Don't buy guns for your Wolfen.
All right.
Hashtag signals teaches.
So Tech Breach Dickie, this is clearly a goal for you for the upcoming seasons. You want to kick ass with your world leaders.
Yeah.
Seth is working on a few goals himself, and he wanted to share them here so that we can kind of, have a baseline.
My goal is to get World Eaters banned
Yes.
Just
Get-
to upset Tech Priest at this point.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, guess what?
That's-
Tech Priest Sticky, Wool Leaders, they don't get faction pins. Nee. There you go.
That's cool, Bean. Yeah, thanks. Great. Wonderful.
We're discriminating against you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am
Not the faction, just you.
Yeah, just Tech. I am slightly terrified. I mean, the list looks brutal.
does.
So Tech Priest Dicky, you're trying to go all the way with your army.
Yeah.
Seth though has goals for 2023,
I
and
do.
we are going to keep track of them throughout the year. Why don't you tell us what they are, Seth, and how we can accomplish them?
So if folks have paid attention, I talked a little bit about it last week. I've talked about it a bit on my own personal channel, but I am setting the goal of trying to become best in faction orcs for this coming year. I have entitled the campaign "The Biggest and the Best General."
Yes, I love it.
With that in mind, I'm not just kind of willy nilly going at this, and this process hopefully can be useful to you, the listeners or viewers, on some setting personal goals for yourself. So ultimately, the goal has to be a realistic goal. And I say that because you can set your goals to whatever you want. I could say I am going to become the best competitive chess player. That's a goal. I know how to play chess, but I'm not very good at it. So when setting a realistic goal, I think it's important to understand where you are and where you want to go. So in terms of where was I with orcs and where do I have to end up, I kind of got a little bit of data to support myself here. So last season I came in 51st in orcs. I came in the top 20 the season before that, but points wise, that's 565 points. For reference, Sean Naden, who took first place in orcs, had about 890 points. So it's the way the faction scoring was done with the same number of events. So it's not an event difference in that point. It is the quality of placement at events.
Yeah,
so
he came in second at LVO with
he
orcs.
did pretty good at LVO. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just put that aside. All right, here I was working. So that means I've got to make up a significant amount of points. Importantly, though, Sean, going through his orc scores, did not actually have a event win with his orcs. So with that in mind, if I can go, if I, sake of argument, I'm going to a bunch of majors or GTs. If I can go 5-1 or 6-0, then and I can get in the number of events I want, that should be doable. The other part of that is I'm also going to have to go to probably on the neighborhood of 8 to 10 GTs or majors this year. And so when I say, is that a realistic goal? Part of that discussion is looking at the resources. How much money am I going to have to spend to travel and do all these? How much time am I talking about to get all that stuff done? I'm not just going to show up and play games at events. I also have to do the practice. I have to get some advice, which is where Vanguard Tactics is going to come in on the coaching half. But I also have to have play partners like my lovely Tech Priest here. The only way I'm going to figure out this World Eaters matchup is to play it.
Yeah.
So I have to get a World Eater player to play me. Tech Priest.
Oh,
Are you that World
directly
Eater
at
player?
me.
I think he's asking you out to be his sparring partner.
Oh.
I mean, I'd also ask you, Kicker, to
date.
play guard because, I don't have any reps into guard.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bringing
So
Cherokee.
that's the kind of process I'm going through. I'm going to be checking in with you guys as this process goes. We're going to hopefully be doing some recorded coach sessions to put up here, but that's kind of where my goal setting is for this season. But Tech Priest, now that I've outlined my method for setting a goal, let's see if we can apply it to you, Tech Priest Sticky.
Interesting.
So what do you think's a realistic goal for you this season?
Ugh. I got to stop streaming events if I want to play in them. That's the thing.
All right.
I don't know. I think I do want to. I want to be very competitive. Right now, my goal is very WTC focused. So,
Okay. I mean, that's still a goal.
Personal goals are just getting awesome with the army and having a lot of fun. I think. Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna stick to one faction this entire season?
I think I'm a one faction guy this year.
No, we're both gonna be the one faction guy.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna see who blinks first. I see a few folks in chat setting personal goals at events, 4 and 2 at
4
LSO.
and 2 is an LSO. That's a great goal.
Yeah, I think it's a solid goal, man. That's 66%. That's If you go out and what do we say is the good win percentage for an army? Between 45 and 55%. So if
55%.
you're hitting 4 and 2 and you're going 66%,
That's
that means
legit.
you're above average on your win rate there. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
pretty good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got in chat, we've got a goal of top 100, which I think is doable for Greg. The important point, I think, is just to remember where you are and where you're going. This is my third or fourth ITC season where I played orcs for a portion of it. So I didn't just jump in cold and say, I'm going to win. I've seen what previous winners have had to do to get there in terms of the amount of events they got to travel to, the reps they got to get. And I think that's a doable thing for me.
We got a lot of people. I mean, like, here we go, faction specialist pins. Now that's like, a lot of people can say, I just want to be, at
Some
one
people get
event,
them.
be best in faction
Yeah.
for one.
And the reality is, when you look at when you're trying to say, sake of argument, if you're trying to go for a faction season ranking, you're just every event. I enjoy that process because, sake of argument, let's say the World Eaters are truly the boogeyman of the meta moving forward. I'm not trying to beat all the World Eaters players. I'm just trying to beat all the orc players.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Good. I think it's a great
I
goal.
enjoy that process, and I'm going to beat all the World Eaters players too. So All right. I think that's all that we have for that segment. This there's no new ITC scores for this week, so that's kind of your competitive segment for the week. We internally amongst ourselves said we're going to have a short episode tonight, and we still managed to go for an hour.
We lied.
Uh,
Well, before we sign out, guys, I want to remind, like your goal can, of course, try to be, the best orc or whatnot, or go, 4 and 2 at an event. But it can also just be to go to an event. The LVO this year was so big because we had so many people saying that was their first event, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
that's a very large first event.
That's
But
that's a
awesome.
big pool to jump into.
That's a big pool to jump in. But we also have like RTTs and casual events there too, right? Or narratives and friendlies. But the thing is, like, that's a great and totally legitimate goal too. Like, hey, just maybe go to more events, period. Get out there. Because, I mean, it's fun to win, but it's also just fun to go play. Some people get a little nervous getting out there. But at the end of the day, like, that's where all my friends are from, are people I met at tournaments. So,
I mean, it's a really solid group of folks that go out to these events. Before it scrolls too far, Dorian asks, is there best in faction for LSO? Yep. All of the Frontline events are going to have best in faction awards now.
Yeah. So for all Frontline gaming events, we're going to have our faction specialist called out. They'll be for most game systems. So, from Song of Ice and Fire and Kill Team to 40K and Age of Sigmar, etc. So
Chad says that the reigning ITC champ Jack Harpster took down Mark Perry today playing Orcs versus World Eaters, which means I guess I have to go back and watch that game to see how Jack did that, and then maybe grab him at Cherokee and be like, tell me your secrets.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Seth, why don't you take us out, guys? Chat, once again, thank you for joining us. We love seeing you. And we'll see you guys again next week. Seth?
We thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Signals. We'll be back next week in preparation for Cherokee. But until then, have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Good night, guys.